start on a Friday, start in November, start like at 25.
Horizontally or diagonally.
Time to put your faith in a friend.
It helps you to prioritize your goals and your dreams or what you want to work on, and it shows you really you don't have time to do everything.
Yeah.
It's 2025.
Yeah.
New year.
New us.
New goals.
Hi guys, welcome back. We are back.
We're back and we're better than ever. Happy 2025 to everybody.
New year, new us. It's a new era of this podcast.
And we've got a lot planned, but first of all, we just want to say we're glad that you've joined us in the new year. We're super excited for all the conversations and all the chats we're going to have.
Yeah, just chats, guys. Nothing too serious.
But yes, again, welcome to Just Chats with
Tsofato and
Masejo. And as we said, it's 2025.
Yeah.
New year.
New us.
New goals.
Thoughts about that? Let's just get into it. New year, new me. First of all, let me start actually. Because new year, new me. I got a new hairstyle. If you're listening to this, go over to our YouTube to see how I look.
She's looking good. She's looking hot like a hero.
But yeah, how do you feel about that? Like new year, new you.
I feel that it has its pros and cons.
Yeah.
Because the beginning of the year serves as like a new clean slate.
Yeah.
But then it could also be like a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
So I feel that it's a great way to start stuff. But what I picked up last year or in December, because it was my birthday in December, I entered the third floor.
There's levels to this.
So I entered the third floor and I learned from one of our cousins on her birthday. She spends the day just reflecting, well, obviously celebrating, but she has a moment or some time set aside just to reflect, and she starts her year on her birthday.
Oh, that's it.
And I was like, oh, I know it probably doesn't count much because mine is like 20 days before the new year.
Real.
But I was like, okay, that's also a nice way to start when there's not a lot of pressure from everyone else.
I think I did that too for because I was turning 25, guys. So last year, the day before my birthday, I journaled and I was kind of thinking like, 25, it's like, yes, we're not supposed to be at a certain stage at a certain age, but then sometimes it's just a good time to sit down and reflect. So 25, I thought I was going to be sad and be like, oh my gosh, I didn't make it. I was supposed to be married with a family, but I was like, you know what, I'm proud of where I am now.
Yeah.
So a birthday is also a good time to reflect. I think just having those like moments where you can have like a fresh start, like, because I love a new year. For me, it's like time to reset. But you don't even have to wait, because I started doing like the 75 soft challenge, and I started on her birthday on the 11th of December. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not really going to wait for a new year or anything, because there was this quote that I really liked that says like, start on a Friday, start in November, start like at 25. Start like if there's anything you want to start or anything you want to do, you always like, it's great to have a new year or your birthday to like just feel like it's a fresh start. But you can start whenever. So even if you're listening to this podcast on a random day and maybe it's like March or whatever, like if there's anything you want to start, you can start now.
I like that because that like helps us deal with procrastination, because you always say you're going to start in a new month. You're going to start on a Monday. And then it doesn't happen, and you're like, it's a Tuesday, I'll start. Exactly. So I think that's the nice part about it, because I sort of started my new year or started working towards my goals, or started with the stuff that I wanted to do for this year, 2025, last year. And then when the new year comes in, it's like you're hitting the ground running.
Yes.
But that's not the whole point. The point is just to know that, okay, this is what you've planned. There's no pressure behind it. But the main thing about setting goals is being realistic.
True.
Not easy.
Yeah. I just read Atomic Habits, and I think that was like a big point in that, to make your goals easy. And like, obviously it's going to be hard. Like, it requires lots of discipline when you're working towards something. But make it as easy as possible for you to accomplish that, because you like, especially at the beginning of the year, you're like, okay, 12 months, I'm going to do this and that and that and that and that. And then there's like no plan to how you're going to get there. Then all of a sudden it's November, you're like, I didn't do this. And you like realize that it can't really happen in a month. So just what I did this year, I actually also read the 12-week year. So I really planned for
I'm reading that now.
Yeah.
Like,
guys, read those books. Like, if you want to start new habits, build new habits and anything like that, you're trying to reach your goals, those are such good books to read. So I just planned for 12 weeks, and it just made me realize like, whoa. So the idea to plan for 12 weeks is that it shows you that you have like a limited amount of time to get to your goal. Because 12 months feels like, I can start.
I'm good. I'm good.
I'm still gonna make it, But then 12 weeks is like you only have 12 weeks, so it's enough time to make you push, but also still accomplish the things that you're trying to accomplish. And with only 12 weeks, now you have to actually not lower, but choose very like
prioritize.
Yeah. Okay, I'm only gonna focus on 2 to 3 things, and then after that I'll work on the next thing. So that's what I've been doing. I'm trying to be in my disciplined era. I read Atomic Habits. This was the second week of my 12-week year, and like this morning already, we both just came from running 10 kilometers. But
and now we're here. So but it's because
we are committing to our goals. And for me, like this morning, even yesterday, I was having like a hard time like getting ready and going for my run. And then I saw on TikTok, some guy was saying that it is the Quitters Day, which was the second Friday of the year, which is when 80% of people apparently quit their goals. My source is TikTok, guys, so I have to add that in there. But I was like, you know what, I need to get up, I need to chase my goals even on the days when it's hard. So I think another important thing with goals, like yes, you're making them easy, making them realistic, but you also need to know the reason why you're doing them, because it's gonna like, especially like later during the year, or like when all that motivation has like worn off, you need something that's gonna make you like, I know what the goal is behind this. So another thing that I did was write down my vision. Okay. So I'll say like
for the year or for the 12-week year.
So with the 12-week year, that you have to write down your vision for like your life vision. Like who do you see yourself as? Where are you trying to go? Like how do you see in general? Yeah. Okay. And then after that, you write. I think it was like 3 to 5 years. To see like what are you trying to accomplish, and then you can just now start saying, because the things that you're working on now
are the things that are building up to get you where.
Yeah, so I think that was a really important part for me, especially in December. I had some time off. I also did a lot of like reflecting. So I'm like, okay, I've been working on all these goals, whatever. Like, is that who I'm still trying to be? Because like some of these goals I set, I've been putting them on my vision board for the past like 4 or 5 years. And it's like just recycling. I'm like, is that still who I want to be? So I took some time to reflect so I can see if that's what I'm still trying to do.
No, I agree. So I just started with the 12-week year.
Yeah.
I read Atomic Habits, I think 2 years ago, and I honestly feel I'm still going to read it again because I feel that, especially with the self-help or self-improvement books, you take something from it every time you read it. So I definitely 100% recommend Atomic Habits. With the 12-week year, I think I'm on like chapter 7, so I'm still like fairly in the beginning of the book. But what I've learned, or from the discussions that we've had, like
in our book club,
in our unofficial book club, is, and it was insane when they said stop with the annualized thinking and planning, because as you said, you see it as 12 months and you're like, it's time, I've got this. And then January you're slacking, or maybe January you're pushing, and then when you're not like consistent, then you're like, no, I've got time to catch up. But with the 12-week year already, like for example, I wanted to start in January and now it's like 2 weeks. But what I liked about what you said yesterday is that you can start at any time. So it doesn't have to start at the beginning of
because we're letting go of that annualized thinking.
And the quarter, 4 quarters.
It's not like a quarter. With the 12-week year, you're not breaking down your goals into quarters.
You're
just doing 12 weeks at a time. Like even for this year, I didn't do a vision board. I did like a bingo card.
I love this.
And it's kind of like a vision board. So how it works, I never played bingo, but it's like you have like little blocks, and then when you like accomplish like a row in any direction,
vertically, horizontally, or diagonally,
time to put your faith in a friend. Do you guys know that song?
If you know, you know. If you don't, forget about it.
So if you accomplish a row, then you can like treat yourself or something like that. So it's kind of like a vision board. I'm still working on mine. While I wrote all the things, I just need to find pictures, because I like having the pictures. So with that, all my goals were just set for 12 weeks, and then after 12 weeks, start over.
It's a new year.
So I didn't say that these are my goals for 2025. These are the ones that I'm doing in the first quarter. I just did 12 weeks only, and then the rest I'll see after that.
Because that's what the book says, that do not write all your goals for the year. Just deal with your first 12 weeks. And then after that, it's a new year. It's just like, actually, it's like, you know how we used to do our goals for 12 months? You never did your goals for the year after that, or for the 12 months after that. So you don't do that with the 12-week year. You just do for the 12 weeks that you're dealing with, and it helps you to prioritize your goals and your dreams or what you want to work on, and it shows you don't have time to do everything.
Yeah, I think it'll help me to be realistic. Last year, I hadn't read a 12-week year, but I had started like finding out about the idea of a 12-week year. So what I did last year is break down my goals into the quarters.
Yeah.
And I like that already worked a lot for me, because just breaking it down into quarters, I realized like, oh, like I need to focus on stuff because like there's only like a quarter only has 12 weeks. So I feel like last year I set really realistic goals, because I realized like, because like sometimes you say, okay, in 2025 I want to be a millionaire. And you're like, okay, to be a millionaire I need to be making 250,000 per quarter. And then it's like 250,000. Then you start breaking it down, and you're like, oh, okay, let me actually.
It's not happening.
Yeah, like,
and
okay.
It's great. It's great to think like that, because then you sit down. Because the other thing is that when you don't do that in the beginning and you don't reach your goal, you feel very discouraged and demotivated, and then you're just like screwed for the rest of the year.
But I am still a dreamer, so I had a section for that as well. Even this year, like I had my goals that I'm like, okay, if I do this every week, I'm gonna get to this point, or if I do this every month, I'm getting to. But there's the goals I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this one, but like I think I've accomplished things that I've never even dreamed of.
Sure.
That like I also don't want to limit myself, because I also believe in like manifestation and putting things out there, and like, you know what, I'm capable of making $1 million this year, you know, stuff like that. So I still put those kind of things on my like vision board, just to say like, when I accomplish them, I can think like, wow, I used to dream about these things. And I think that's another important part. Like that's nice about having like a year. It gives you time to reflect, because I think also like last year when the year ended, I also got to think like, I remember in I think it was 2018, I tweeted like, oh, I can't wait to travel the world. And that time I had never even been on a flight ever to anywhere. And last year I went to like 6 countries.
Yeah.
So I think that's like a nice thing to have, like those big dreams. So I'm glad I tweeted that. I'm like, wow, I was just really dreaming. Like I just put this out of I hadn't been on a flight, hadn't been anywhere out of the country, but I was like, you know, so it's also nice to have those big dreams. You're not really sure how you're gonna accomplish them, but I think it's just like, you know, just nice to have things to look forward to just like, okay, maybe this month I can make like 30 sales. That's my realistic goal. But like, you know what, just dream like, you know what, one day I want to have my candle store where people can walk in. Like right now it's not like realistic, but I think you can get to a point where it is. So still dream big, but there's also like balance, like, you know.
I agree. So I remember when the vision board what is it? Era took over social media. And I was like, I didn't do it, I think, the first 2 years when it came out. And then eventually when I did it, I sat down. And honestly, that was the best thing I've ever done. That vision board was proper. I put it as my wallpaper. I loved it. And then it discouraged me because I didn't reach all my goals, or didn't accomplish everything that was on that vision board. And I think it took me about 3 years. I think maybe I ticked off, I'd say 80% of the things on that vision board after 3 years. And honestly, that's still an accomplishment. But I feel after the first year when I didn't, it was really like discouraging, and I felt like I'm not doing enough, I'm not focused. Yeah, sometimes you need a reality check, but that was just a lot for me at the time. But then when you look back now, I wish I could actually, because I tore it up. I remember how that day I just tore it up. But then I had it on the phone and then I lost it. But when I look at majority of the things that were on that vision board, I accomplished them, and I'm grateful for them, you know, because as you said, it helps you. The main thing is just to keep you focused, you know, so that, because sometimes you get to the end of the year and you're like, what did I do? And we're not talking about like materialistic things or buying a house or car and all. Yes, we want those things and we have those goals, but sometimes it's just about the other things, like how do you look at yourself? You know? That's a massive one for me. It's like, okay, how do I look at myself in the mirror, or how do I picture, or how do I value myself? Do you have self-awareness? So because I think at the end of the year, most people feel sort of depressed or feel that they didn't do much because they're looking at things that you can like physically see.
On that point, like on my vision board last year, I put like the year of transformation, but like I don't really know what it meant at the time, but I just felt like maybe like going to a higher level.
Butterfly.
Yeah, connecting my butterfly era as well. But at the end of the year, I realized like that's the year that I grew the most, like as a person. Like it was the first time ever in my life that I felt older. And
I hear you. I get you. I
Yeah,
get
so
you.
like,